Hey everybody, I'm back out in the Montana garage. Another fine fall afternoon here in Montana. Probably not going to have too many more of those. Hopefully we'll have a few. I should be out here working on some stuff. I got the 57 or 55 frame. Still haven't done anything on the front of that. I'm waiting on parts. Well, I haven't ordered any parts yet, so it's going to be a while of wait, but I got to figure out what I'm getting, get them coming. I did tinker around on the 55 just a little bit. I didn't film anything, but when I sprayed the bed liner, I got a bunch of overspray on the firewall here. And so I've just been kind of cleaning that up. I'm probably gonna have to do, there's a lot, kind of some heavy sanding scratches in this filler. So I'll probably do like a, another coat of some of that lightweight filler. Escaping my brain what it's called right now. Anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. And then I'll get this all ready to primer soon. But I thought today, means it's such a nice day, and I keep talking about doing a video on the 57 delivery, that maybe we do that today. This thing has been severely neglected this year with the DD Speed Shop 57 and then working on this. And it's always kind of piled over in the corner. There's always a bunch of stuff in the way. So that's it's kind of a lame excuse, I know, but it's just kind of a pain to get it out. So I've just been busy and I haven't done anything with it. I think I've only driven it one time all summer. And I did a live in the mob, or a live thing for the mob, I think, so I didn't have any footage for you guys on YouTube. So let's talk about the 57 a little bit today. First thing I'm gonna have to do is move all of this garbage. I moved my 55 frame over the other day to give me room to work over here, but I think I still have enough room to sneak out the 57. But I gotta move all that stuff. I don't know if you can see, but there's a bunch of crap underneath the car. I gotta get that all out of the way. And then recently I've developed a slow leak in this front passenger side tire. If I don't put air in it like once a week, she goes flat and gets knocked off the bead. Hopefully it's still on the bead. It's a bit of a struggle getting air back in it once it gets off the bead. Got a strap here. I've been wrapping a strap around it to suck it back down to the wheel to get it to hold air. So let's grab the hose. We'll see if we can get air in that. Move all that stuff. Hey, there's my fight deck. That goes back on there, but I haven't got around to it yet. So that's on the list soon. Stay tuned for that. So we'll get that out of the way. I don't know what all kind of garbage. I haven't been piling too much stuff inside, but we'll move a little bit of stuff inside. And then we'll see if she'll fire up. Back her out in the sunshine and we'll do a little walkie around. Alright, we got some of this crap moved out of the way. I pointed her over just a hair so I can hopefully sneak it out of the garage here. And cleaned up all the stuff underneath. Cleaned up a little bit of crap I had inside. So a little bit to do here. But she's mostly ready. I got some air in the tire. I got lucky it wasn't quite off the bead yet, so I was able to just put some air in there. So that was nice. I got a little bit more stuff to move here. Here's my list of stuff I got to do. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. I always cover the stacks, of course, so I don't want a bunch of crap going down in there. I have these little screens that I bought, but these things are very restrictive. Like, I mean, I can barely blow through them. And for those of you that follow like roadkill and stuff, Mike Finnegan, he used to have a stack injection on Blasphemy. Kind of back when he first built it. And he put some of these things in there. His is electronic injection, but he put some of those in the stacks and he said it made like 200 less horsepower when it had those in there. Something like that. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But anyways, I usually just run it without. I don't drive it that much. And it's probably not good to run without any kind of filter, but I don't know. That's what I do. So I put these in there when it's sitting around and I cover them up, but when I'm running it, I usually just have the stacks open. Open up, you can go right down inside and see what's going on. Let's talk about the history of the car for a little bit and why the car has so much meaning to me and why it'll probably always stay in this kind of iteration of a build. I mean, I hope to kind of finish it a little better someday. But to be honest with you, I really don't care if it ever gets finished much more than this. I've been looking at it like this for so long that this is kind of right to me, you know what I mean? But someday we'll go a little further, hopefully. But so, as I said earlier, the car came from, or I got the car from my uncle when he passed. My Uncle Gordy, he got the car. Oh, sounds like my neighbors are cutting some firewood or something. That's awesome. He got the car from my other uncle, Les, in the, Les says early 70s. And as long as I can remember, this car goes back in my memories as long as I can remember. My Uncle Gordy, he was born with diabetes and always kind of had problems with that for his whole life. And so for a lot of his life, or most of his life, he lived with my grandma and grandpa. So as a young kid, I remember going over to grandma and grandpa's house. This is in Rapid City, South Dakota. And this car was in the garage. And it was always in various states of, states of being built or taken apart or whatever. But I guess my Uncle Les said he acquired the car from a guy in South Dakota. The car came from a field somewhere outside of Sturgis. He said early 70s. And then I don't know how long Les had it or what he did with it. But at some point, Les decided he didn't want this anymore. He wanted a 68 Camaro that he's had that was for sale. And I guess my grandfather said if Les gave the car to Gordy, then Grandpa would help Les buy the Camaro. So that's how Gordy got the car. It was, I guess, given to him from Les. And then I asked my Uncle Les if he had any stories that he could remember or share with me that he remembered. He kind of told me that stuff, and he said all I can really remember is he just kept repainting the dash. So apparently he painted the dash a lot. So like I said, when I was a kid, I'd go over there and this car was always there. And Gordy was just a super funny, just a crazy dude. And I clicked with him, and we always hung out whenever I was around there. From the time I was little till the time I moved away and did time in the Army and everything and came back and lived there, and I'd go over and work on cars. So we were just always kind of like, best buds or whatever. And I spent a lot of time living away from there. I was in Montana, like I said, then in the Army, but we just always picked up where we left off, and he always helped me with my cars. And he's kind of the main reason I'm into cars, And so, like I said, he was always kind of sick all his life, and it was kind of no secret that, he wanted me to have the car when he was gone. And so that's how I got it. And, it's got this mechanical injection on it, and that is, super cool. I mean, that's like that's the thing that makes the car to me. And that's also the thing that makes the car, like, I don't really get to use it that much is because of that. But to me, that's okay. Like people say, why don't you switch that out and then you could drive the car? And I can still drive the car, but just because of where the car came from, and this is how Gordy wanted it, he loved that mechanical injection. Like, I remember going over there when I was a kid, and the car would be in the garage, and that injection stack would be sitting on his dresser in his room. I'd go in his room and watch cartoons with him. He liked cartoons all his life, even when he, at the end of his life, he still liked cartoons. So as a kid, I'd go watch cartoons with him, and I just remember that thing sitting in his room. And maybe somewhere I have a picture, but he had nurse balls put in here, and then he had little faces drawn on them, so I'll always remember that. And I don't think I'll ever be able to take that stack injection off there. I don't really want to, but like I said, it'd be cool to be able to drive a little bit more, but that's why I'm building that car over there. So this is my drag car, this is Gordy's car, and that's how he wanted it, so that's how it's going to stay. Let's see, I wish I could think of some more stories. So I'll show you some pictures. Let's go down I should probably scan these in and try to do it, but maybe I'll just show them in a photo album. Just a quick look at, I don't know if we can see these or what. Just some different iterations of the car. Looks like he used to have some different seats in it. I got a glare there. Glare everywhere because there's lights up here. Where can we go? There's no light right above me. It's not any better probably. He used to have the front of the car, like the firewall and stuff, was silver, and you see he had all these pinstripes on it. Now it's white. He switched to white, but he still got some pinstriping on the frame, which is kind of cool. He used to have, this is one story I remember, he used to have this little roll bar in there, and over here on the door side, there was these little notches, and they weren't like it was actually rubbing on something. They were actually individual little notches, and I asked him about it one time. And there was a bunch of them. I mean, maybe 15 or 20 notches. And you could tell that they were notches that he put in there. Like I said, it wasn't like something he rubbed on something. And he said those were for all the girls he had in the car. I never knew if he was telling the truth or not, but that's what he said. It looks like in this picture he had a keg to sit on for his seat, so that's cool. So like I said, it was originally going to be a gasser. There's the same tires that are on it right now, but they used to stick out of the fender well. I got this Tasmanian Devil stuffed animal somewhere. I need to bring it out here. He was always been to, like I said, he liked cartoons. He liked the Tasmanian Devil. And this is, at some point when he had it, he did have it going. Like I said, you can see the tires are still sticking out. They got the silver firewall. So something happened at that point, and then he decided to take it all the way back apart. And that's when he painted the frame, narrowed the frame. So we got a Ford 9-inch with, I think it said 613 gears and a spool. Disc brakes all the way around. The engine is a 427, it's a L88, which I guess those came in Corvettes like in 67 something. Don't quote me on that, but I researched it. It's L88 with the aluminum, just kind of the stock heads that came on it, but they're aluminum. They're called like Winter's snowflake heads or something. I don't know that much about them, but I found that information when I first got the car. Got a fuel cell in the rear, coilovers. It's got a ladder bar rear suspension. I'll show you all that stuff on the real car. But just doing a little trip down memory lane here. He had these wheel wells radiused, so then at some point, as you can see, he switched them back to stock, but they're not actually stock, they're actually stretched bigger so that the big tire doesn't look out of place in there. So I could take some measurements on here and then go measure on the DD57 and see how much bigger it is. But like I said, he stretched that so that it looks, doesn't look out of place with the big fat tire in there. So this was when he was starting to get it together. What else we got here? Just more quarter panel work. And this stuff would have all been, I'm guessing, in the 90s. And then here's where he was getting closer. He did have fender well headers on it at some point. Apparently those, somewhere there was some interference, probably over here on the steering box side. They worked, but he didn't want to dimple the tube or something, and so he switched back to just the regular headers. That's my Uncle Gordy near the, kind of near the end of his life. Funny guy, crazy guy. He even, towards the end, he got, can't really see it in there, he's got flames tattooed on his head. Don't see that every day. I miss that guy. Anyways, so that's the little trip down memory lane. So what's the dealio with this mechanical injection? Why does it make it harder for me to drive, or why can't I drive it as much? I'm sure a lot of you folks know as much or more about mechanical injection I do, but some of you might not know what it is or how it works. And I'm no expert. I don't know a lot about it, but I had to learn about it, to get this going. And thankfully these days, of course, we have the internet and we have all these people that know everything, and you can look stuff up and kind of fumble your way through. So I have some internet knowledge. Enough to make the car run, and not run optimal, I'm sure. And it's a simple system, but there's kind of a lot to it that probably doesn't make any sense, but that's how I would say it. So I was trying to learn about it. I'm gonna move over here so we're away from the chainsaw a little bit more. And so I joined this group on the internet, and I got this book to figure out how to tune this thing. And it's pretty cool. Harvey Racing Engines Fuel Injection Basics. And this was a couple summers ago. I haven't really been looking at it lately, but basically the moral of the story is you got to do math. You got to do all these formulas. You got to know the air density. You have to know how much fuel your pump flows. So I had to take the pump and send it in to a fuel injection company, and they could flow it, and they could tell me how many gallons per minute the pump flows. Then I used that number with all these other formulas. And then as you can see, here's where I was trying to figure out, this, at the end of all this stuff, you're supposed to know, like, there I have 104 jet. You're supposed to know what jet to use. And that's gonna change. You can't just put a 104 jet in it because you live in Bozeman, Montana, and you're at 4,000 feet elevation. But as the air density changes, the temperature changes, all that stuff is taken into consideration of those formulas. And to make this thing run optimally, you need to do these formulas and then change the jets like all the time. I think they got 2 chainsaws going out there now. Man, just my luck today. Change of plans. We got Chainsaw Massacre going on next door here. They got a lot of wood out there, lumber, trees out there. It looks like they might be at it for a while. So let's start this thing up, make our own noise. We'll go for our drive, and then maybe we'll do our walk around and talk around when there's not so much noise next door. All right, so I guess one of the first things I need to do is make sure I got fuel in it. Fuel's probably been in it for years, so that's probably not good. And I can't even get the cap off. She's, you know, to there. We'll dump a little more in there before we fire it up. This thing uses a ton of fuel. I have a fuel cell in the back that I'll show you later, but I think this holds 5 gallons. And I went to a car show 8 miles away, and I got there, but I didn't get home. So less than 8 miles, or we maybe made, you know, 11 miles in 5 gallons, so 2 miles a gallon ish. And that was just putzing along. Anyway, so we need to add some fuel. This is another little fuel canister. So that's for my priming pump. And I'm not going to show you all the little tricks or what we need to do to start this thing, but you know, there's a few little things we got to do. You got to turn that bad boy on. That's for NHRA, you got to have the cutoff switch. So we got to do that. I do have another hidden switch somewhere else that cuts the rest of the power off too. We have a shut-off valve right here for the fuel, so that is on. I have another valve down here. God, I can never remember which way that one works. I guess that'd be on. It seems weird because it's going that way, but pretty sure that's on. And hopefully my battery's not dead. Just bump the starter over, make sure that works, and then I'll find some fuel. 4-speed. All right, we got enough battery to at least bump it over. Let's get some gas in it, and then we'll see if she fires up. All right, I added some fuel. I got all my valves open. Check the coolant. So the coolant, the radiator, as you can see, it's got signs of leakage. This thing leaks in a few different places. I stuck a bunch of that stop leak crap in there. I think I might have actually put too much and kind of like plugged something up, because now this thing heats up. Like, I used to be able to drive it a little bit and it would leak, and it would, you know, I couldn't drive it forever and it would get kind of hot. But now I can't hardly go like around the block and it gets hot. So I think something's plugged up in here, but you know, we'll go with it for today. But that's kind of one of the reasons I haven't been driving it. I need to do something different about the radiator. But our oil's good. This is good. I got all our little switches turned on. So let's see if this thing will start. Usually, I haven't started it. The door's been sticking. I haven't started it for 3 weeks or a month or so. Today I did my YouTube live. I started it, so whenever that was. And so usually how this thing works, if I haven't started it for a long time, it'll start right up. Usually. Once I start it and shut it off, that's when I start having issues of will it start or will it not start? Because it's so hard to get the fuel right. So there's we either will or we did talk about how the mechanical injection works, but I got a primer pump to prime it, and then you got to let it turn over for a while and then hit the ignition. And once it's running, it's almost like it gets flooded out too easy. So I got to remember to try to give it less fuel. But so I got a little procedure I do for the initial start. And like I said, it's kind of a race car, so it's not just turn the key. That doesn't do anything. But we do have a Mickey Mouse keychain. That was the other thing. Uncle Gordy liked Mickey Mouse. So that's what that's all about. Tilt wheel, well, just like the fancy cars. So like I said, I'm not gonna show you guys the whole secret to starting everything, but there's a switch panel up here. You gotta push some buttons, and we'll push some buttons and see what happens. See if I can even remember what buttons to push. So we got a little button that controls our fuel pump. So we got a little clickety-clackety. I count in my head. I'm missing counting now because I'm talking to you guys, but we'll say about there. And then we turn it over for a little bit. And then we hit the old power button. Fires right up usually when it hasn't ran for a while. So let it run for a second to kind of warm up a bit. I had to write myself a note here because the fans are electric. I always forget to turn the fans on, so put them bad boys on high. And we'll see if I can get out of here without running into anything. The other thing about a sedan delivery is it's like one giant blind spot. You can't see shit out of this thing. I almost forgot to turn off my primer pump. I just remembered to do that. So, too many things to remember when you haven't driven it for a while. Can't see the crap out of that here. It's not adjusted. I gotta mess with the mirror a little bit. See a little bit now. I think I'm actually gonna go try to get over a little bit further. Mostly out without running into anything. Mechanical injection is just finicky. It's not built for the street. They work best at idle and best at full throttle. So it's that off idle stuff you struggle with. It doesn't drag my headers when I back out of the driveway now since I put the new springs in it. That kind of stuttering and cutting out, that's because it's not idle or full throttle. Right, we're dying here. It shouldn't be doing this. All right, we got our fuel open. Don't usually do that. I haven't driven it for a while, but didn't do it last few times. Let's see. It's also hard to get a second gear. probably still will. I'm just going around the block one time to make sure that whole dying thing isn't gonna happen again. I don't know what that was all about. Still is definitely having some issues. Get out and take a peek. Not running into my mailbox. No emergency brake, so getting out to take a peek is a bit of a challenge too. Hold on. I don't know, everything seems to be as it should. We're at 145-ish on the old temperature dial. We'll try again. Well, that's a real bummer. Something obviously isn't right. Everything looks to be normal. I don't know if, yeah, I just don't know. I'll have to let it cool off and pull all the plugs and see. I probably fouled out a couple plugs or something. That's my only guess. Shouldn't be nothing major wrong, but yeah, she was sputtering, and I got back to the driveway, but I didn't make it in the shop. She died, and we'll sit here for a little bit and see if we can figure it out. Haven't figured anything out yet, but the fuel is a year old. I don't think that would do it, but maybe we got a little water in the fuel or something too, or I don't know if a year is long enough to like cause crap to like plug up my filter. That's something to look into. All right, fast forward a couple days, I'm back out in the Montana garage. I still don't know why this thing was running like total dog poo when we went for our test drive, but I just haven't had a chance to look at it yet, so that's what I'm gonna try to do today. But what I do know is this video is getting a little too long, so I'm gonna end this part here. We'll call this kind of part one. I'll have part two coming out just in a few more days. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm gonna work on this today or look at it today, and hopefully I can figure out what's going on and why it's running like crap. If I can get that done, then I can get a little more driving footage, actually, you know, driving, hot riding, maybe a little bit of burnouts, tire smoke, that sort of stuff in part two that'll be coming up, instead of just the sputtering around with it running like crap like we had in this video. So I'll do my best to get that figured out and include that in the video. No promises. I'm not that smart. I might not be able to figure it out. But anyways, thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe. And then I do want to mention, people are asking for stickers. What I'm going to do in this video is the first 3 people that go over to Instagram and follow me over there, and then send me an instant message or direct message, whatever it's called, over on Instagram, saying you saw it in this video and that you want stickers, and you got to send your address, obviously. And then the first 3 people that do that, I will send a Montana Garage sticker pack headed your way. If you're already following me over there, that's okay. Just do the message part, saying you saw it in the video, and send me your address. We'll get you some stickers. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.